There was only one day left until the unified exam. At Jiangxing Second High School, in Senior Class 5, the homeroom teacher, Chun Fan, stood at the front of the classroom and addressed his students about the upcoming examination. He reminded them that all of the effort and perseverance they had shown over the years had been for this single moment. Turning his attention to the students who had chosen the liberal arts path, he instructed them to return home and prepare their writing materials carefully. After that, he directed those taking the martial arts exam to make sure their combat suits and weapons were ready. He then issued a serious reminder, stating that the martial arts exam carried a genuine risk to personal safety, and that anyone whose awakened ability was below D rank was not permitted to participate. Upon hearing this, a student named Su Jingming quietly exhaled, wondering if his teacher's warning was aimed at him. As he reflected inwardly, he explained to himself that the world he currently lived in was known as Blue Star. The technological level of this world was nearly identical to that of his previous life, yet its dangers were far greater. Blue Star was home to terrifying and brutal monsters, and the awakened, individuals who possessed supernatural abilities, were responsible for fighting against these threats. Abilities awakened at the age of 16, and their types varied widely. According to Blue Star's rating system, abilities were divided into 9 ranks. Most people awakened abilities between F rank and D rank. Jingming's own ability was E rank. Suddenly, another student slammed his desk and questioned whether Su Jingming still intended to take the martial arts exam after hearing Teacher Chen's warning. That student, a blonde-haired boy, openly mocked Jingming for being only E rank. At that moment, a female student stepped forward and pointed at the blonde-haired student, Huang Tian, telling him to worry about himself instead. Annoyed, Tian snapped back, saying that she would soon see who truly excelled in the unified exam, addressing her by name, Lin Xingwan. As he walked away, he continued speaking arrogantly, declaring that Su Jingming would not survive the martial arts exam. Lin Xingwan, clearly concerned, advised Jingming not to pay attention to Tian's words. She gently reminded him that everyone had their own talents, and that choosing the liberal arts path and living a peaceful life in the city could still lead to a good future. Jingming listened quietly, holding the unified exam registration form in his hands. He reflected that the Daxia Nation, where he currently lived, divided higher education into 2 distinct paths, liberal arts and martial arts. Those with lower-ranked abilities or little confidence in combat usually chose liberal arts, becoming ordinary citizens through exams that focused on academic knowledge. In contrast, those who selected the martial arts path were sent to designated locations during the unified exam, where they faced dangerous monsters. Those who passed earned the opportunity to enter an awakened university. After years of training under professional instructors, they advanced from an unranked state into true ranked awakened, gaining significant strength. As Jingming sighed, he realized that both his teacher and Lin Xingwan were worried about his safety if he chose the martial arts exam. However, he also understood that even if he avoided the exam, he could never truly avoid the monsters that could invade at any time. Remembering how his parents had lost their lives to monsters, he felt a deep resolve. He did not want to remain powerless if such a tragedy occurred again. With firm determination, he stated that he would choose the martial arts exam. That evening, Jingming trained alone with his spear while activating his ability, pushing himself until exhaustion. Eventually, he collapsed onto the floor, admitting that he could not continue any further. Breathing heavily, he reflected that he had chosen the spear as his weapon ever since his ability awakened. Even after 2.5 years of practice, his proficiency remained at the beginner level. However, the spear combat technique he had invested heavily in, known as Lightning Gale Break, allowed him to be slightly stronger than the average E rank awakened. Raising his hand weakly, he muttered that the failure rate for students below D rank increased every year. Clenching his hand into a fist, he declared that taking this risk was the only way to enter an awakened university. At that moment, a mysterious system window appeared before his eyes, and he stared at it in stunned silence. The system announced that its activation was complete and prompted him to claim the newbie pack. Jingming immediately sat up and wondered aloud whether this was the legendary Transmigrator's cheat system. He asked what the pack contained, and the system responded that the newbie pack included an S-rank ability along with 200 ability points. Jingming reflected on what an S-rank ability meant. Even in a powerful nation like Daxia, an S-rank awakener appeared only once every 3 or 4 years. Whenever such an individual emerged, the top awakened universities would fiercely compete to recruit them, offering vast resources and guidance to cultivate them into top-tier powerhouses. The thought made Jingming break into a sweat, as someone like him, an E-rank awakener considered nearly worthless, was suddenly being given a chance to completely change his fate. He reached his hand into the system window and claimed the pack before pulling his hand back. The system notified him that the newbie pack had been successfully claimed, that 200 ability points had been added to his account, and that the distribution process for the S-rank ability, Violet Firmament Divine Lightning, had begun. As the progress started, lightning gathered around Jingming's heart. When the progress reached 10%, he began to feel intense pain. At 20%, lightning encircled his body in a swirling formation. As the process continued, the power rapidly increased, shattering the windows of the building. Smoke began to rise from the structure, and people on the street below witnessed the scene unfold. A man nearby, worried about the Su family's child, decided to call the fire department. As the transformation continued, Jingming experienced unbearable pain. The sky suddenly darkened, prompting a passerby on the street to voice his confusion. High above the building, a massive blue lightning dragon appeared. Inside another building, a man observing the scene through his window felt overwhelming pressure and wondered aloud whether a powerful lightning attribute dangerous monster was about to emerge. He immediately ordered the Jiangxing 3rd Legion to go on high alert, and his subordinate carried out the command without hesitation. The blue lightning dragon descended toward Jingming's building and entered his body. Jingming screamed in agony as the progress bar finally reached 100%. He clenched his fist and felt the immense power coursing through him, smiling as he acknowledged his new S-rank ability, Violet Firmament Divine Lightning. He commented that the awakening had caused more disturbance than expected, but he was fortunate to have maintained control before his training room suffered total destruction, then thought to himself that he should have gone outside instead. Suddenly, he remembered the 200 ability points granted by the system and wondered what purpose they served as he checked the interface again. The system explained that ability points could be obtained by defeating monsters and that he could review his attributes through the system panel. Jingming smirked, remarking that he preferred this kind of straightforward and simple cheat system. He then opened his system panel, which displayed his current status. He decided to save the points for the upcoming exam, where they would be needed the most to boost his combat power, and instructed the system to prepare the points for allocation. Jingming reasoned that superpowers originate directly from the human physique and spirit, so he decided to improve these two attributes first and tapped the corresponding option on the system panel. The system immediately enhanced his physical and spiritual attributes, and Jingming felt a surge of energy flowing through his body. To test the change, he swung his fist forward with force. As he clenched his hand, faint lightning crackled around it, and he remarked that improving basic attributes could grant corresponding enhancements, whether through combat techniques or through the manipulation of superpowers. The system window then displayed his updated attribute statistics. Smiling confidently, he stated that with his current strength, he would surely be able to enter an Awakened university. However, he admitted that he had no idea where he ranked among the 700,000 candidates in Jiangnan province and wondered how he compared to those who had been trained by elite instructors since childhood. He kicked his spear upward, caught it smoothly in his hand, and decided to head to a martial arts gym to further test his abilities. Just as he made up his mind, the door suddenly burst open when a firefighter kicked it aside, and a team from the fire department rushed into the training room, startling Jingming. One of the firefighters explained that they had received an emergency report about a possible fire. Jingming calmly responded that the disturbance was likely caused by fluctuations from his superpower cultivation and reassured them that everything was under control. After understanding the situation, the team relaxed and decided to leave. Jingming waved goodbye as they departed, while one firefighter remained visibly stunned that such a large commotion had been caused solely by a young student training his abilities. Soon after, the fire brigade vehicle left the area. Jingming then walked along the street, surrounded by curious onlookers. His uncle, Yang, approached him with concern and asked if he was all right after the earlier incident. Jingming replied that he was fine and had already resolved the issue. Uncle Yang relaxed and asked whether Jingming was heading to the martial arts hall. Jingming confirmed that he was going there to practice, prompting his uncle to praise his dedication and comment that Jingming was nothing like his own son. Jingming reflected inwardly that for aspiring Awakeners, training both the body and the mind was essential to becoming a true superpower user. As a result, martial arts halls had been established to provide Awakeners with training facilities and skilled instructors, since not every household had a private training room. In the Great Xia Nation, the most famous martial arts halls were Thunder Martial Arts and Fierce Bear Martial Arts Hall. Jingming arrived in front of the martial arts hall and entered, thinking that among these options, the Fierce Bear Martial Arts Hall, with its annual membership fee of 100,000 yuan, was more suitable for students from wealthy families, while the Thunder Martial Arts Hall was open to high school students for free. As he looked around, he noticed his cousin, Tang Qi, standing nearby and surrounded by several other students. Jingming approached her from behind while waving, greeted her as Sister Qi, and asked what she was doing at Thunder Martial Arts. Chi turned around and replied that she was just there with her friends. Jingming waved again, told Chi to enjoy herself, and said he was heading to the training room. Chi watched him leave and felt that something about Jingming seemed different than before. Her short-haired friend then asked about him, and she explained that Jingming was her cousin and, like them, a senior high school student who would be taking the unified exam the next day. Chi gently placed her hands on Xiaoya's shoulders and told her that her cousin was an Awakener with only an E-rank superpower. Hearing this, Xiaoya's excitement vanished instantly, and she repeated Chi's words in disbelief as her heart sank. The brown-haired boy praised Jingming's bravery for choosing to take the martial arts exam despite having only an E-rank superpower. Chi remarked that if the decision were up to her, she would never allow him to take such a risk. Xiaoya held onto Chi's arm and reminded her that they had come to explore the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. Inside the training room, Jingming stood quietly while holding his spear. He noticed that the weapon felt unusually light in his hands, but quickly dismissed the thought, realizing that it was not the spear that had changed. He himself had become stronger. Since the unified exam was scheduled for the next day, and there was no time left to select or adapt to another weapon, he decided to continue training with the spear. He moved it swiftly and deliberately chose to rely solely on his physical strength without activating his superpowers. Taking a deep breath, he tightened his grip, adjusted his stance, and thrust the spear forward with full force. The target sustained visible damage, and the meter above it displayed a reading of 321 calories. Jingming reasoned that the entire training room was constructed from primary memory metal, which allowed it to automatically restore itself after sustaining damage. From the result, he realized that his physical strength had nearly doubled, noting that the peak physical output of an Awakener typically measured around 100 calories. His eyes then flickered with lightning as he activated his Violet Firmament Divine Lightning and directed it toward the target. The lightning struck powerfully, and the meter calculated the output at 3,021 calories. Jingming smiled, satisfied with the strength of his S-rank ability. Preparing for another strike, Jingming stated that he had not yet reached his limit. Lightning crackled around him as he tightened his grip on the spear. He reflected that his physical strength, superpower, and layered combat techniques together formed his most lethal combination. After positioning himself carefully, he unleashed another full-powered strike. Lightning enveloped the spear as it slammed into the target, causing it to break apart completely. The hall trembled from the impact, and people in the main hall felt the ground shake, believing an earthquake had occurred. On the same floor, Chi and her friends were also shaken by the disturbance. The brown-haired boy stood frozen in shock and remarked that the energy they had just felt was extremely powerful, adding that it was on the level of a true superpower user. Xiaoya responded by pointing out that this floor was designated only for high school students, while those who had reached the level of full superpower users in Jiangxing usually trained at the Fierce Bear Martial Arts Hall. The brown-haired boy wondered aloud whether one of those experts had come here to train or if a new high school superpower user had emerged. Chi decided that they should go check for themselves. As they walked, Chi pointed in the direction from which the energy fluctuation had originated. At the same time, Jingming was walking toward them from that very direction. When they met, Chi asked if he was heading home. Jingming confirmed and added that he wanted to train a bit more before leaving. Chi wished him good luck on the upcoming exam and reminded him to stay safe. From ahead, the brown-haired boy told Chi not to worry about Jingming and suggested that they continue forward to investigate the source of the energy fluctuation. When they reached the training room, Chi opened the door and found everything inside completely destroyed. All of them stared at the scene in stunned silence. Xiaoya exclaimed in shock that all of the memory alloy had been destroyed and wondered just how powerful the attack must have been. She doubted that a high school student in Jiangxing could possess such strength. The brown-haired boy stated that this could not be the work of a high schooler, explaining that he could still sense an extremely powerful energy lingering in the remains. He concluded that someone with a Tier 2 superpower must have accidentally entered this floor and tested their strength in the training room. Another friend agreed and said he had known all along that no high school student could unleash power of that level. As Xiaoya continued thinking, she mentioned that Su Jingming had only passed by earlier and asked her friends whether he could have been responsible, suggesting that he might be a hidden genius who had been concealing his power while waiting to reveal it during the exam the next day. The curly-haired friend dismissed her idea, saying she must have read too many webtoons about hidden superpowers and that such stories were nothing more than nonsense. The friend with slicked-back hair added that even if Jingming were hiding his strength, he was still only an E-rank Awakener and would at most be capable of producing around 300 units of power. Xiaoya was left speechless. The brown-haired boy then said that the corridor led to 2 different exits, so the powerful individual must have left through the other path. He turned to Chi and asked for her opinion. She was quietly examining the spot where the attack had landed and murmured that it was impossible to know for sure. She noticed that the attack had been delivered using a spear and wondered whether Jingming might simply be overestimating himself ahead of the exam. The next day arrived, marking the start of the unified exam. Candidates carrying their weapons were transported by buses to a ruined city. Everyone chatted excitedly as they disembarked, while Jingming stood beside one of the buses holding his spear, wearing a confident smile. Beyond a metal barrier, the candidates spotted a monster. One of them remarked that it looked like some kind of unicorn rhinoceros, while another expressed surprise, saying they had heard that only ordinary monsters such as shadow cats or iron-haired boars were used in previous exams. He commented that this year's test seemed especially difficult. A candidate with a serious expression responded that it did not matter even if the monster was a unicorn rhinoceros, stating that if someone could not handle such a creature, then even entering an Awakened university would not change the fact that they would remain insignificant. Jingming quietly asked his close friend, Lu Jie, about the arrogant candidate. Jie replied that the man was Zhou Mingyang from No. 1 high school, known as the Gale Sword User. He added that he had heard Mingyang possessed a B-rank ability called Agile Gale and had already advanced from unranked status to Tier 1. Jingming recalled hearing about him before and remarked that Mingyang was the nominee for this year's power examination valedictorian. He wondered silently who was truly stronger, Mingyang or the other competitors. Soon after, the examiner raised his voice and called all candidates to gather. He introduced himself as Wang Haiyang, the chief commander of the Jiangxing Unified exam. Before the test began, he explained the rules. Haiyang announced that the exam would run from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and that the testing ground was the ruined city in front of them. As in previous years, the area was divided into outer, middle, inner, and core zones. Candidates would earn different amounts of points depending on the type and strength of the monsters they defeated, with stronger monsters yielding higher scores. He explained that the core zone was the most dangerous area, comparable to a bonus question on a written exam and intended only for the top-performing students. He warned everyone to act within their limits and not to risk their safety simply for extra points. Standing among the candidates, Jingming reflected that he had only entered the outer zone the day before, yet now he planned to advance into the inner zone and possibly even the core area. Haiyang then announced that candidates would receive their supplies from their respective homeroom teachers. Jingming stepped forward to collect his equipment. His homeroom teacher explained that the supplies consisted of 3 items in total: a smartwatch that tracked monster types and numbers while calculating scores in real time, a tactical backpack containing 3 energy bars and 1 energy drink, and a disposable medical kit designed to support an examinee for up to 12 hours. The third item was the safety sphere. When activated, it created a high-voltage electric barrier that prevented ordinary monsters from entering its range. His teacher explained that once a candidate activated the safety sphere, their exam would immediately come to an end, reminding everyone that personal safety mattered more than anything else. Jingming thanked his teacher for the reminder. At that moment, Lin Xingwan waved at Jingming and called out his name, catching his attention. She pointed out that he did not have a team and offered to let him join hers. Lu Jie, who had recently awakened a C-rank ability, gave a thumbs up and said that once they entered the test site, he would support Jingming. However, the other 2 members of the team appeared uneasy. One of them, a gray-haired student, reminded the class representative that this was an exam and not a place to act out of kindness. The other, a red-haired student, added that a team could only consist of up to 5 people and that bringing someone weak would negatively affect their overall score. Lu Jie became visibly upset and bumped into the red-haired student, accusing them of going back on their word after agreeing earlier. The 2 team members argued back, with one claiming they did not expect Jingming to actually show up and the other stating that he had no intention of carrying unnecessary baggage. Unable to contain his anger, Lu attempted to confront them, but Jingming stopped him from behind and calmly expressed his gratitude to both Lu and Lin Xingwan for their kindness. Jingming then stated that he would go alone and suggested that they form their own team instead. Lu remained worried about Jingming's decision, while Xingwan reluctantly agreed and reminded him to be careful. Lu stormed off angrily. Jingming grinned and remarked that even on his own, he was confident he could still earn a high score. Wang Haiyang then announced the official start of the exam, along with the activation of test site cameras and drone live streaming. Drones immediately took flight and headed toward the examination zone. The candidates began running into the test site. Jingming also stepped ahead and pressed several keys on his smartwatch. The device confirmed the completion of verification and read out his profile and exam ID before displaying the live rankings. Jingming noted that this result was exactly what he expected from the top students. Steeling himself, he prepared to move as well. Knowing that the journey from the outer zone to the core area was long, he decided to head directly toward the core. After some time, Jingming came across a candidate lying on the ground injured, which startled him. Upon closer inspection, he noticed the injuries and realized that the individual had not been able to activate the safety sphere in time. At that moment, Jingming truly understood that the warnings his teacher had given were not exaggerated. He thought that if he had not awakened his S-rank ability, he might have ended up the same way. Internally, he admitted that the Unified Power exam was extremely harsh. He then used his watch to contact the logistics team. As he waited, suddenly, Jingming's eyes widened as he sensed movement to the side and saw a monster approaching him. He was shocked to realize that the monster had deliberately left the injured candidate alive as bait to lure others in before attacking. Understanding the situation, Jingming concluded that it was a trap. Jingming stood firm and got into position as the monster cat growled, slowly closing the distance. With a sudden leap, it lunged toward him. Jingming quickly dodged, causing the monster to land elsewhere, which only seemed to make it angrier. The creature growled again, its eyes fixed on him. He thought about why these creatures were called fierce beasts. Each one carried a unique, ferocious aura that instilled fear in its prey. He had heard that many awakened people, when confronted by a fierce beast, became paralyzed under the aura, barely able to exert even 30% of their strength, often waiting helplessly for their end. Wealthy families often hired specially trained ability user bodyguards to take their children into the wild, gradually exposing them to fierce beasts to build resilience. Jingming, however, had none of that experience. This was his first encounter with a fierce beast. As the beast leapt toward him again, Jingming thrust his spear, striking it. But he immediately realized that its aura had no effect on him. His watch notified him that he had killed one unranked fierce beast, a shadow cat, and gained 3 ability points. Jingming recalled that fierce beasts were divided into 9 ranks, with any below the first rank considered unranked. Killing them granted ability points, which strengthened the user, even if the beasts were unranked. Deciding not to linger in the outer area, Jingming knew he needed to reach the central zone quickly. He continued fighting monsters along the way, steadily accumulating points. After another encounter, he landed on the ground, reflecting on his progress. He had gained a considerable number of ability points, but he still lacked actual combat experience using the Violet Firmament Divine Lightning. While it allowed him to instantly kill unranked fierce beasts, he had yet to learn how to effectively manage its full power. He noted that higher rank abilities consumed exponentially more energy, and using his full S-rank ability continuously would not even last an hour. By contrast, his E-rank ability had lasted over 3 hours. Since the martial arts exam was scheduled to last 12 hours, he could not afford to waste his energy before reaching the core area. Jingming resolved to conserve his power, relying on his spear techniques to defeat fierce beasts while building combat experience. However, he was soon confronted by a giant beast. Jingming sprinted as fast as he could. As the beast lunged to attack, he swiftly dodged, positioning himself above it and landing a powerful strike, and defeats the monster. And Jingming landed safely on the ground. Breathing heavily, he remarked that his speed in killing fierce beasts had improved so much that even a rhinoceros-class monster could not stand against him. He wondered aloud if his spear technique had advanced without him even realizing it. Jingming checked his stats and noticed that his spear technique had indeed improved and was now at an intermediate level. He concluded that relying solely on his spear technique had significantly boosted his overall strength. Jingming remarked that the intermediate spear technique made him feel almost unstoppable, as if he could accomplish anything, and he wondered aloud what would happen if he improved it even further, pointing toward the sky. Suddenly, his mind was flooded with advanced spear techniques. Startled, he bent down, noting that countless new techniques had filled his thoughts. Standing upright again, he gripped his spear firmly, declaring his intention to test his skills against a first-rank fierce beast. As he moved forward, Lin Xinghuan's team was advancing ahead, and from a distance, she noticed Jingming. "I just saw Jingming," she said. The light blue-haired member of her team denied it, while the gray-haired teammate added that Jingming couldn't possibly have reached that far with his current strength. Lin Xinghuan hesitated, doubting herself, but insisted that she had seen a figure that looked exactly like him. Lu, observing quietly, wondered how Jingming was managing. Meanwhile, the red-haired teammate waved to his team, pointing at a fallen rhinoceros-class beast. They approached the body. The light blue-haired boy inspected the body closely and concluded that the injury was on the creature's head and appeared to have been caused by a long weapon, likely a spear. Xinghuan gasped and exclaimed that it must have been Jingming she had seen moments ago. The light blue-haired boy countered, insisting that she could not be serious, questioning whether Jingming could have been the one to kill it. The red-haired boy added that a fierce beast of this rank could typically only be defeated by a C-rank Awakener, so it was impossible for Jingming. "We just need to check the score rankings to be sure," he said. Qinghuan quickly accessed the rankings and found Jingming listed in 47th place. She confirmed that he really was the one who had killed the beast. The other team members, however, could not believe it. They were stunned that E-rankers could be so formidable in modern times. Outside the test site, spectators gathered to watch the live stream of the exam on large screens. They discussed the dominance of number 1 high, which had reserved the top 10 positions. Some remarked on Zhou Mingyang's performance, who had secured first place with 412 points and claimed the city's top student spot. Others noted that Jiangcheng had rarely achieved a provincial ranking in previous years, and they were placing high expectations on Zhou Mingyang. Zhang Wenshan, the director of the Jiangcheng Education Bureau, commented that Zhou Mingyang was an exceptional student, noting that his ability, Nimble Gale, was extremely powerful. He then addressed Mr. Liu of number 1 high, expressing his satisfaction with the education provided at the school. Zhang also praised the principal of number 3 high, noting that one of his students had made it into the top 10. The principal of number 3 thanked him, acknowledging his guidance and promising to continue relying on his support in the future. Turning his attention to the principal of number 2 high, Zhang advised him to work harder, pointing out that his best student had only achieved 18th place. The principal of number 2 high, Zhao Yao, bowed in embarrassment and agreed to follow his guidance. Clenching his hand, Zhao Yao reflected that only 8 of his students had reached the top 50. He continued to place his faith in Li Ming, Yang Jian, Tang Zhu, and Su Jingming, but paused and scratched his head, pondering the student Su Jingming, a name he had never encountered before. He wondered if there was a student with this name in the advanced class. Behind Zhao Yao, homeroom teacher Chen Fan realized something and was shocked to see Su Jingming ranked in the top 50. He thought about Jingming being an E-rank Awakener and questioned whether the student had been hiding his abilities. He noted that only the top 10 students had dedicated camera angles, so he could not find any footage of Su Jingming at the moment, leaving him astonished at how Jingming had scored so high. Meanwhile, in the central area, where the danger level was high, Jingming, while eating a chocolate, reflected on how the number of fierce beasts had decreased significantly since entering the central area. He noted that ranked fierce beasts were territorial and much more intelligent than unranked ones, making them significantly harder to fight. Suddenly, he heard the approach of a beast. A fierce beast appeared before him. It roared with full strength as it approached, displaying its immense power. Jingming immediately recognized it as a first-rank fierce beast, an armblade tiger. Yet Jingming felt fortunate to encounter a first-rank fierce beast just as he entered the central area. He tightened his grip on his spear and moved forward with determination, eager to test his spear technique against this formidable opponent. The armblade tiger charged at Jingming. Jingming skidded to the side to dodge, and the beast landed behind him. Repositioning himself, he faced the armblade tiger and swung his spear with full force to counter the attack. The beast trembled and breathed heavily, and Jingming smirked, wondering if this was all the strength a first-rank armblade tiger could muster. With determination, Jingming leapt toward the armblade tiger, striking the monster with his spear and injuring him. Jingming landed on the ground and repositioned himself, keeping his eyes locked on the beast. The armblade tiger fixed its gaze on him with rage, leaping and striking repeatedly with its arm blades. Jingming dodged every attack without so much as a scratch. After landing, Jingming observed, as he had expected, that the first-rank fierce beast possessed remarkably resilient vitality and was still struggling to fight. The armblade tiger attacked again, and Jingming dodged swiftly. Determined to end the battle, he activated his ability while gripping his spear. Blue beams of energy moves forward, striking the armblade tiger, and taking it down with a single strike. Jingming's watch notified him that he had killed a first-rank fierce beast, the armblade tiger, earning him 14 ability points. He realized that the points gained from defeating a first-rank fierce beast were nearly double those awarded for killing an unranked one. Continuing his journey, he resolved to take full advantage of this opportunity and accumulate as many ability points as possible. Spectators monitored the candidates' rankings on the screens, and Jingming had risen to 32nd place. One teacher from number 2 high asked Chen Fan if Su Jingming was from his class 5. Another teacher noted that only students from Chen Fan's class had made it into the top 50. Chen Fan, panicking, denied the suggestion, insisting that it was his students' efforts, not his own, that had earned the results. A teacher pointed at the screen, announcing that Su Jingming had risen again, this time gaining 44 points at once. Zhang Wenshan explained that according to the martial arts exam score system, defeating an unranked fierce beast awarded 6 to 8 points, while killing a first-rank, low-grade fierce beast granted 14 to 16 points. Zhao Yao, counting on his fingers, noted that the smartwatch's kill count updates every 4 seconds. Before he could continue, Zhang Wenshan interrupted and completed the observation himself. In just 4 seconds, Su Jingming had killed 5 unranked fierce beasts, or 3 first-rank fierce beasts. Amused, Zhang thought that such a performance had not been seen in years, and he asked Zhao Yao why he had never heard of this exceptional student from his school. Zhao Yao admitted that he had only discovered Jingming today and said he needed to ask the homeroom teacher about him. Pointing toward Chen Fan, he instructed the teacher to explain Jingming's abilities and talent to the leaders. Nervously bowing, Chen Fan greeted Director Zhang Wenshan and explained that Su Jingming had awakened with an E-rank ability. Zhao Yao was shocked and asked if Chen Fan was mistaken. Chen Fan denied it, adding that he had even advised Jingming not to participate in the martial arts college entrance exam, but had not expected this outcome. Director Zhang Wenshan commented that it was remarkable for someone with an E-rank ability to achieve such results. He speculated that Jingming must possess other exceptional qualities in addition to his ability, which made him even more curious. After taking a sip, he suggested waiting, predicting that with this momentum, Jingming would reach the top 10 in no time. Zhao Yao smiled widely in agreement. However, Zhang's expression darkened as he muttered that they would soon find out whether Jingming's achievements were earned fairly or through cheating. A chill ran down the spines of both Principal Zhao Yao and Chen Fan, and they began to sweat nervously. Meanwhile, Su Jingming had reached 9th place, while his cousin Tang Qi held 12th. Qi, using her ability, immediately realized that her cousin had been the one behind the attack from yesterday, just as she had suspected. Zhou Mingyang, ranked 1st, was stunned to see a new competitor reaching the top 10 with 6 hours still remaining in the exam. He admitted that he had never heard of Su Jingming before. Upon entering the top 10, the cameras shifted to focus on Jingming. Running forward, he instantly killed a first-rank fierce beast using his spear. Jingming noted that, as he had expected, killing fierce beasts in the central area was far more efficient. Glancing at the drone above him, he realized that reaching the top 10 had triggered a camera angle change. He reflected on the purpose of the martial arts college entrance exam, to test the candidate's capabilities and potential, with better results bringing greater recognition. Jingming thought to himself that he had never intended to hide his strength. Reaching the top 10 was just the beginning. Surfing through his stats, he recognized that he still needed to improve his strength before entering the core area. To his surprise, he realized that his level field had not yet notified him of a promotion, despite gaining more than 300 points. This indicated that he needed to advance from Awakened to a full ability user by cultivating his ability further. Resolutely, he decided to continue improving his basic attributes. He clenched his fist, feeling a surge of determination, and declared that he would push forward into the core area. The traffic signal showed red as he approached the core area, where the difficulty level was highest. Several Armblade Tigers had gathered to guard a massive Armblade Tiger from a distance. Jingming observed the scene and noted that there were 9 Armblade Tigers in total. The one in the center radiated a unique aura and was considerably larger than the rest. He assumed it must be the Armblade Tiger King, distinguished by its long arm blades. Jingming smiled, remarking that this was going to be a jackpot. Suddenly, he noticed someone approaching and called out, signaling that he had spotted them. From afar, Zhou Mingyang began walking toward him. Mingyang praised Jingming's precision in noticing him and admitted that he had not expected Su Jingming, the newcomer in the top 10, to be the one he was approaching. Jingming was surprised that Zhou Mingyang recognized him. Mingyang explained that he was familiar with everyone who had entered the core area, except for Jingming. To him, seeing someone new felt as though a figure had risen from the shadows into the light. Jingming responded softly, acknowledging his words. Mingyang then began drawing his sword, explaining that he had been observing the group of Armblade Tigers for some time. Jingming immediately asked if he intended to steal the tigers. Mingyang quickly clarified, nervously insisting that Jingming should not misunderstand. He explained that the Tiger King was a first-rank, mid-grade fierce beast, and with 9 Armblade Tigers accompanying it, no single person, no matter how strong, could handle the challenge alone. He suggested cooperating. Jingming rejected the idea instantly. Smirking, he declared that he was more than capable of handling the situation on his own. Jingming stepped forward confidently toward the beasts, and immediately all of them focused their attention on him. Jingming, fully attentive, thought to himself that he had expected a group of fierce beasts led by a Tiger King to possess enough intelligence to form even a simple formation. The Armblade Tigers began moving toward him as the Tiger King let out a thunderous roar. They leapt toward Jingming, roaring fiercely. Mingyang, hiding nearby, muttered to himself in disbelief, wondering whether Jingming was walking straight into certain death, or if he had some hidden strength. Jingming began swinging his spear in wide, circular motions, smoothly shifting it from one hand to the other. He struck at the advancing tigers, As the beast's claws reached toward him, he intercepted them with precise strikes and collapsed with every blow. His smartwatch continuously notified him of each kill. He kept slaying and accumulating points. With the Armblade Tigers defeated, the Tiger King finally moved toward him. Jingming admitted that his physical strength was still not enough to handle every beast at once. The Tiger King stomped the ground as it approached, roaring so powerfully that nearby buildings shattered, the sound reverberating continuously. Jingming glanced upward at the destruction, while Mingyang covered his ears, groaning in disbelief. Jingming, however, was unfazed. He remarked that fear might affect others, but not him. He ran toward the Tiger King as the beast advanced, its massive arm blade swinging. Jingming blocked with his spear and leapt high into the air, striking the Tiger King from above. The powerful blow slammed the Tiger King into the ground. Jingming then strikes at the monster with his spear, defeating it, and his smartwatch notified him that he had taken down a first-rank upper-grade Armblade Tiger, earning 20 ability points. Mingyang, witnessing the entire scene, broke into a sweat and murmured in disbelief, noting that Jingming had truly defeated all the beasts on his own. He wondered what kind of person could possess such strength. Jingming thought to himself that at this pace, it was impossible to predict how many points he would accumulate by the end of the college entrance exam. Meanwhile, Mingyang ran after him, asking how Jingming had managed to defeat the entire group of Armblade Tigers with just a spear and whether his ability was a reinforcement-type power. Jingming announced that he possessed a lightning-type ability and leapt onto a nearby building. Mingyang was shocked at the revelation, clenching his fists and gritting his teeth as he muttered that Jingming must be joking. He added that if Jingming didn't want to reveal his ability, then there was no reason for such concern, calling him a mean person. Nervously, Mingyang checked the rankings, worried that Jingming might surpass him. To his dismay, he discovered that Jingming had already claimed the first rank, pushing Mingyang down to second. Spectators, including Principal Zhao Yao and Teacher Chen Fan, were stunned by Jingming's performance. Director Zhang Wenshan applauded, praising Jingming's exceptional spearmanship. He remarked that at only 18 years old, Jingming had already mastered high-level spear techniques and confirmed that he was a true genius. Placing a hand on Principal Zhao Yao's shoulder, Zhang said that with Jingming's help, number 2 High could surely represent Jiangqing and break into the top 100 in Jiangnan province. He also promised that after the college entrance exam, number 2 High would receive a commendation from the city. Principal Zhao Yao gratefully thanked Director Zhang and, moments later, wept, thinking about how Su Jingming's extraordinary performance would bring glory to their school. 3 hours into the core area, Mingyang, still holding his sword, walked through the ruins, wondering aloud where all the fierce beasts had gone. A group of candidates approached from behind. One of them remarked that this question should be directed to the number 1 candidate. Mingyang turned, recognized the group, and asked why they were traveling together. The group included Wu Hao, ranked 3rd, Tang Qi, ranked 9th, and Meng Di, ranked 4th. She stepped forward and explained that Su Jingming was behind all of this. Meng Di complained that Jingming had killed every fierce beast, leaving none for the other candidates, forcing them to stick together for safety. Mingyang, in shock, exclaimed that it was impossible, given the number of fierce beasts in the core area. Qi then approached him and noted that he hadn't collected points for a while, urging him to check the rankings to see Jingming's score. Mingyang screamed when he saw that Jingming had accumulated over 3,000 points. He covered his face with his hands, unable to comprehend it. Qi calmly explained that even after subtracting the 700 points Jingming had gained in the central area, he still had 2,500 points, meaning he had killed roughly 200 fierce beasts in the core area alone. Mingyang frowned, recalling that Jingming had earlier seemed concerned about someone stealing his monsters, realizing that Jingming had planned this feat from the very start. Qi suggested that, with only a few hours left, they form a team to enter the innermost core area. Mingyang recalled that the fierce beasts in that area were at least first-rank upper grade, and there was even a second-rank beast king present, making a solo attempt akin to stepping into certain death. Meng Di cracked her knuckles and invited Mingyang to join their team, and he agreed. The moon rose high in the night sky as Jingming sat munching on a snack, noting that all his supplies had been depleted and that the exam was approaching its conclusion. He considered venturing deeper to gain more ability points, but remembered that second-rank beasts awaited in the innermost core area, prompting him to strengthen his power further. Checking his stats, he saw that he had 2,413 ability points. He smirked, contemplating how best to use them, and decided to allocate them into a specific domain. Lightning sparkled around his hand as he gripped his spear and exhaled, confident that this enhancement would allow him to handle the remainder of the exam. Meanwhile, Qi and her team raced toward the innermost core area, signaling the beginning of the final showdown. as the second-rank fierce beast prepared to make its move. From his current vantage point, Jingming pondered the nature of the second-rank fierce beasts that had been deployed for this year's martial arts exam. Qi and the others reached the innermost core area, with a drone hovering above them, as they found themselves facing a savage bear, and it advanced while stomping the ground, creating a deafening roar and destroying everything in its path. Ming Yang covered his face with his hand, muttering that they were in serious trouble. Ming Di, still eating her chocolate, frowned and explained that it was a rare fierce beast. Its hide was as strong as E-grade alloy. She added that if the savage bear struck them, they would be killed instantly. Qi, looking down from their vantage point, suggested abandoning the mission. She continued, explaining that even if they avoided the savage bear, the first-rank high-grade fierce beasts below would instantly kill them the moment they touched the ground. Raising her hand, Qi voted to leave, emphasizing that scoring points was pointless if it meant risking their lives. Ming Yang clenched his fist, stating firmly that there was no honor in looking impressive if one died recklessly. Ming Di, pointing downward, announced that someone had appeared. It was Su Jingming. Qi gasped in shock and turned her head instantly. Jingming ran across the ground, leaping and skidding with his spear in hand. Watching him, Qi could only gasp in awe, while Ming Di wondered aloud if it was really Su Jingming, calling him handsome. Jingming charged directly into a group of fierce beasts. Ming Di shouted that he had alerted them, but without hesitation, Jingming strikes the beasts, taking them down with a single strike. More fierce beasts ran toward him, growling ferociously. They leapt at him from every direction, pressing him down under their weight. Ming Yang muttered that if Jingming died, it would be his own fault, while Wu Hao worriedly asked if Jingming was truly going to die. Qi, turning, started to move toward him, declaring she would help. Wu Hao tried to stop her, warning that she would only be risking her life. Ming Di grabbed Qi's hand, reminding her of her earlier caution. But Qi protested, saying they didn't understand. Jingming was her cousin, and she couldn't just watch him die. Suddenly, lightning erupted from beneath the monsters, engulfing the surrounding area and shooting skyward. Ming Yang and the group were startled by the display. Shielding his eyes, Ming Yang wondered aloud if this lightning-type superpower could be the one Su Jingming had mentioned earlier. Jingming stood below, clearing the fierce beasts above him, and moved confidently as he swung his spear. Surrounded by his lightning, Jingming thought it was foolish to rely solely on brute force against the first-rank mid-grade fierce beasts. He needed to use his superpower strategically at this moment. He smiled and spoke to himself, acknowledging the sheer power and brilliance of his S-rank ability, Violet Firmament Divine Lightning. Suddenly, he paused as he heard heavy stomping above. Looking up, he saw the savage bear standing before him, growling fiercely. Jingming assessed the situation, noting that although the savage bear had a massive body, it lacked speed. He considered relying on his superpower to defeat it, but realized that its minions, smaller fierce beasts, stood in his way. Firmly, he decided to clear the area first. Jingming jumped from one spot to another, closing in on the smaller fierce beasts. One by one, he struck them down with his spear, while his watch kept notifying him of each kill and the points he gained. He felt exhilarated, noting how his S-rank superpower significantly enhanced his physical strength. However, he also reminded himself that he could not rely on it for too long, as the surging lightning within his body was dangerous. Nevertheless, it was more than enough to deal with the smaller fierce beasts. The savage bear made its move, raising a claw to strike Jingming with tremendous force. In an instant, Jingming vanished and reappeared directly in front of the savage bear, which then charged at him. Jingming leapt to dodge, and the savage bear collided with a building. Seizing the opportunity, Jingming used his superpower to eliminate the remaining fierce beasts one by one. The savage bear groaned heavily. Jingming joked aloud, asking if the savage bear was angry because its underlings were being killed. He teased that it would have to wait until he finished off the last one standing. To his surprise, the savage bear advanced behind its remaining minion. Jingming realized that the beast had anticipated his move. With a sudden forceful strike, the savage bear slammed its claws, smashing the area around Jingming and sending debris flying. When it opened its claws, but Jingming, from above, unleashed the full power of his lightning against it. Smirking, Jingming thought to himself that with its underlings gone, there was no one left to interfere. He was now curious to see if the bear's thick fur, like natural armor, could truly withstand the devastating force of his S-rank lightning. Jingming landed a powerful strike on the savage bear, and the entire area was engulfed in blinding lightning. The drone above recorded every move, while Qi and her group struggled to maintain their footing against the extreme gusts of wind. Spectators watched the live stream in awe. Director Zhang turned to Principal Zhao and asked, astonished, if he could really call this an E-rank ability. Another teacher added that merely activating his power allowed Jingming to instantly defeat a high-grade rank 1 fierce beast and even hold his own against a rank 2 beast, an ability that would challenge even an A-class superpower user. Principal Zhao scratched his head, muttering whether it could be a mutated ability. Director Zhang remarked that after today, the entire Great Xia would be shocked by Jingming. The savage bear roared violently after receiving the strike. Jingming landed gracefully on the ground, noting that the bear had only sustained minor wounds. With his current strength, it would be impossible to kill the savage bear in a single strike. The bear emitted a dark aura as it transformed, startling Jingming. It leaped forward, smashing everything in its path. Jingming barely managed to defend himself. Standing his ground, Jingming observed that the savage bear had activated its berserk skill. He assumed the beast hated him intensely. The bear crouched in a crater, growling heavily, and repeatedly struck at Jingming. Though he dodged each attack, Jingming was exhilarated to experience the raw power of a fierce beast in its berserk state, which significantly enhanced its physical strength. He noted that the berserk state stripped the bear of its already limited intelligence. Jingming decided to focus on evasion, keeping his distance while avoiding head-on confrontation. Skidding backward and leaning low, Jingming waited for the perfect opportunity. When the moment came, he activated his ability, swung his spear, and struck the savage bear from behind. The bear fell heavily to the ground. Jingming then unleashed his full power, Violet Firmament Divine Lightning, striking the savage bear with a force that filled the area with lightning and smoke, shattering the ground beneath them. The savage bear finally lay prone, and Jingming stood before it, stating confidently that even the thickest defenses could not withstand half a minute of Violet Firmament Divine Lightning. The bear's eyes suddenly opened, and it struggled to rise, growling furiously. Its body, however, was paralyzed, trembling uncontrollably. Jingming smirked, having anticipated this moment. He activated his Lightning Gale Break, striking the bear with incredible force. The impact sent the beast flying, smashing debris and colliding with a building in a massive explosion. Jingming's smartwatch notified him of the defeat of the rank 2 low-grade savage bear, awarding him 24 points. He relaxed, sitting on the ground, exhausted but satisfied. He reflected that he had upgraded his Lightning Gale for this battle, and the power had not disappointed. Though the battle lasted only 2 minutes, it had drained him completely. Jingming wondered how many points he had accumulated after defeating all the fierce beasts in the core area. Spectators checked the rankings and gasped as they saw Jingming's points surpass 10,000. Everyone shouted in disbelief. Director Zhang exclaimed joyfully that Jingming had not only broken the Jiangxing record, but also set a new record for the entire Jiangnan province. He hailed Jingming as a genius among geniuses. Last year's provincial champion had scored just over 8,000 points, and now Su Jingming had already secured this year's provincial champion title in advance. Shi Jingming didn't have much time left before the test ended, but he had already eliminated all the fierce beasts in both the inner circle and the core area. Now, he planned to return to the central area and defeat as many remaining beasts as possible. Qi and her team arrived and noticed Shi Jingming moving swiftly. Despite how unexpected it was, they soon realized that he had actually killed a Tier 2 Beast King. Judging by his actions, they inferred that he was heading back to the central area to clear out the remaining monsters. The realization angered them all, and thinking quickly, Zhou decided to pursue Shi Jingming, knowing that he might not leave a single point unclaimed in the final hour. Zhou broke the team formation and left, with Qi and Wu following closely. Meng Di, flustered, called after them, asking them to leave some points for her. An hour later, the test concluded, and the teachers announced that all candidates should return immediately. Everyone exhaled in relief as the grueling exam finally ended, but for Shi Jingming, the time had passed far too quickly, and he was far from satisfied. As he exited the testing ground, Xiaoyao approached Qi, attempting to sweet-talk her into giving Shi Jingming's contact information. Qi, now more confident after witnessing his performance, acted arrogantly. Xiaoyao protested, saying she had not been interested before, but now, with Shi Jingming ranked first in the martial arts exam, the situation had clearly changed. As they spoke, students and spectators rushed to meet Shi Jingming as he emerged from the exam venue, some even begging him to share points with them. Shi Jingming calmly waved to the crowd as he made his way to the bus. Wu jokingly tried to convince Zhou that the top spot should have belonged to him, but Zhou, still stunned at witnessing such a prodigy from 3rd high school, didn't argue and remained content with his own score. A professor congratulated Shi Jingming and introduced him to Director Zhao from the Education Bureau. Impressed by his performance, Director Zhao personally offered Shi Jingming a ride. Shi Jingming accepted, recognizing that returning to the bus would only mean constant questions and interruptions. During the ride, Director Zhao asked Shi Jingming which superpower university he planned to attend. Shi Jingming admitted that he had been so focused on improving his strength that he hadn't yet considered which university to choose. Considering Shi Jingming's remarkable results, Director Zhao suggested the top 3 universities, all renowned for producing half of the nation's high-level superpower users. Qingjing University, located in the vital heartland of Great Xia, is affiliated with the official organization and allows graduates to enter the system directly. Modu Superpower University, situated in a bustling port city, offers excellent resources, numerous elite clubs, and is ideal for individuals pursuing excellence. Jincheng Superpower University, with over 2 centuries of history, boasts ancient traditions, strong facilities, and a reputation for producing exceptional talent. All 3 universities possess top-tier superpower cultivation methods that are not publicly shared, making them highly coveted by aspiring students. Shi Jingming already understood Awakener cultivation and training methods to evolve into a superpower user, but he wanted to learn the advanced, top-tier techniques exclusive to these prestigious institutions. Director Zhao explains that superpower training methods are divided into different levels. To master a beginner-level superpower, it typically takes 3 to 4 years for an Awakener to advance into a full-fledged superpower user. However, by practicing a top-tier superpower training method, an Awakener can transform into a superpower user in just 6 months. Director Zhao assures Shi Jingming that he will qualify for special admission and that even the top universities will offer him favorable conditions, allowing him to choose according to his own desires. Shi Jingming thanks Director Zhao sincerely. The next day, Shi Jingming checks his system panel and discovers that he now has 20,034 points, enough to secure admission to a superpower university. As he steps out of the bath, he wonders whether fierce beast combat competitions will continue at the university level. Otherwise, he would have to enter the wilderness area on his own to continue gaining experience. At that moment, Qi and Aunt Su Qingwan enter Shi Jingming's house to surprise him, leaving him shocked since he is only wearing a towel. Aunt Su immediately notices the messy state of the room, while Shi Jingming rushes to change clothes. Over the years since Shi Jingming's parents passed away, his aunt had stayed with him day and night, providing meticulous care and guidance. Today, she has come to congratulate Shi Jingming on passing the martial arts exam. Despite her earlier worries about his decision to participate, Shi Jingming asks Qi if she told her mother about his achievement, but she insists he share the news himself. Proudly, Shi Jingming brags to his aunt that he scored over 10,000 points in the exam, leaving her so amazed that she spills her juice. Qi confirms the truth of his claim and begins crying with joy, thinking that her family finally has a worthy successor. The scene then shifts to a university meeting discussing Shi Jingming's extraordinary performance. Despite being only 18, an Awakener with a natural E-class ability, weak electricity, Shi Jingming had achieved results far beyond expectations. One professor suggests recruiting him immediately, while others suspect he may have cheated, as such achievements seem impossible for an E-class Awakener. A silver-haired senior intervenes, deciding to classify Shi Jingming as an S-class special recruit. She resolves that, regarding the authenticity of his score, she will personally investigate the matter in Jiangxing. Shi Jingming receives a notification from the Jiangnan Province Education Bureau confirming that he has achieved first place in the examination, earning the title of top scholar of Jiangnan Province. His achievement spreads rapidly across the internet, breaking national records, but it also raises doubts among some people about the authenticity of his results. In response, Principal Zhao organizes an award ceremony for the Martial Arts Excellence Award at No. 2 High School and invites the press to address these questions. Many are claiming conspiracy theories and questioning the legitimacy of Shi Jingming's performance, demanding an explanation from Principal Zhao. To clarify, the principal informs the press that the full video of Shi Jingming's martial arts exam has been uploaded online, allowing everyone to verify its authenticity. He emphasizes that the fairness of the martial arts college entrance exam is beyond doubt. As the press watches the footage, they are shocked by Shi Jingming's skill and mastery in action. Principal Zhao confirms that the results are entirely genuine and highlights that Shi Jingming is the first student from Jiangxing to achieve the top scholar status, making his accomplishment even more commendable. In recognition of his achievement, the City Education Bureau awards Shi Jingming a cash prize of 1 million yuan along with top-tier superpower training methods. Additionally, the city government provides an equivalent bonus and a luxury villa in the city. The story becomes a major headline across the nation. Meanwhile, the silver-haired teacher observing the announcement is impressed but remains cautious, noting that simply releasing the exam footage does not guarantee that Shi Jingming did not use performance-enhancing methods. The critical matter is still to verify his true superpower level. At this time, Principal Zhao quietly asks the teacher why Shi Jingming has not arrived yet. The teacher explains that he is still training at the martial arts gym and will be arriving soon. Although nervous, Principal Zhao praises Shi Jingming's dedication, noting that he continues to train even after completing the martial arts exam. Soon, recruiters from the top 3 superpower universities arrive to meet Shi Jingming and gather in a room, while teacher Chen nervously serves them tea. Overwhelmed by their powerful presence, Chen trembles, worried at the thought of being in the same room with such high-level figures. Stepping outside briefly, Chen wonders if a conflict will arise among them. The silver-haired woman, Zhang Xiaoyue, director of admissions at Modu Superpower University, asks the others whom they are targeting for recruitment this year. Su Yun, director of admissions at Qingjing Superpower University, asserts that Shi Jingming will join their university, provided his results are genuine. Wu Yuan, minister of admissions at Jinqing Superpower University, makes the same claim, leading to a rivalry between Su and Wu. A predictable scenario, as recruitment of top scholars often involves competition among universities, as Zhang expected. At that moment, Shi Jingming confidently opens the door and enters the room, greeting teacher Chun and immediately impressing Zhang Xiaoyue. Even under the pressure of 3 high-level superhumans, he shows no hesitation or faltering. Principal Zhao then formally introduces the admissions officers, and Shi Jingming greets them politely, exuding calm confidence. Zhang then speaks with Shi Jingming about his martial arts exam video, praising his incredible combat abilities. However, she has a question regarding his superpower, which no longer appears to be the originally registered E-Class weak electricity. She asks him to explain, and Shi Jingming describes how his natural lightning ability evolved after being struck while training at home, which caused his superpower to strengthen significantly. Wu and Su immediately recognize this as a superpower mutation. To verify the mutation, Zhang retrieves a superpower detection device and instructs Shi Jingming to use his ability on it. As he channels his power, the device displays violent, crackling lightning, leaving all the admissions officers in awe. The device identifies his superpower as Purple Cloud Divine Thunder and attempts to raid it, but the system cannot handle the magnitude and breaks. Hearing the commotion, Principal Zhao rushes in, confirming to Wu and Su that Shi Jingming's level must be at least S-class. Zhang smiles, confident that she has chosen the right candidate. Officer Wu immediately offers Shi Jingming a place at Jin City University, including a 4 million yuan admission bonus, a full set of C-class equipment, and 4 years of free superpower training and combat techniques. Su counters with an even more generous offer. If Shi Jingming joins Qingjing University, he will receive a 6 million yuan admission bonus, and for the duration of his studies, all equipment, superpower training methods, and combat techniques will be entirely free. However, Zhang of Moda University raises the stakes even higher. While her university does not offer cash bonuses or equipment, they promise unmatched cultivation methods and combat techniques, along with S-class cultivation resources provided annually. Wu and Su are stunned by the offer, but Shi Jingming is initially unsure what it entails. Zhang explains that these resources come from dragon-type, fierce beasts, legendary creatures born with innate power and dragon-like physiques, typically tier 4 or 5, far surpassing ordinary fierce beasts. Moda University's S-class resources include the potion of an tier 8 dragon-type fierce beast. Consuming this will dramatically enhances the consumer's physique, granting physical strength comparable to that of dragon-type fierce beasts. Each S-class resource carries the power of dragon itself. Realizing they cannot compete with such a wealth of resources, Wu and Su withdraw their offers. The choice is now entirely Shi Jingming's, to decide which of the 3 top universities he will attend. After careful consideration, Shi Jingming selects Modu Superpower University. Shi Jingming chooses Moda University because not only does the Magic City Superpower University offer the best conditions, but according to his own understanding, the school's combat training level is also the highest. Historically, half of the champions in the University Alliance tournament have come from Moda University. Shi Jingming thanks Wu and Su for their offers. Zhang then presents Shi Jingming with his admission letter and informs him that while the official enrollment date for new students is September 1st, he can register in advance as a specially recruited student. The university will also provide him with accommodation. Shi Jingming decides to consult the library's superpower training methods and combat techniques ahead of time. Zhang grants him permission and arranges for an independent study room in the school library, free from any disturbances. She also gives him her contact information so he can reach out to her upon arriving in Magic City. Shi Jingming prepares to depart and heads to the train station. Before leaving, Aunt Su, accompanied by her husband Tang Daolin, expresses her joy with tears, proud of Shi Jingming's achievements. Tang Daolin then speaks to Qi, advising her to start considering her university choices. Since Shi Jingming is going to Magic City Superpower University, he suggests that she also aim for a university in Magic City so they can watch out for each other in the future. Aunt Sue agrees, and she, feeling slightly nervous, replies with an okay. On the train, Shi Jingming reviews the superpower training method he received, as there are still 6 hours before arrival. Among the rewards from the college entrance exam, the most valuable is the superpower training method known as the Abyssal Sea Training Method. Like superpowers, training methods are divided into 4 levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and top tier. The higher the level, the faster and more effective the training. The method Shi Jingming possesses is an intermediate level training method. With his current spiritual power at 18, he is able to memorize all its content in just half a day. According to the method, there exists a special energy flowing between heaven and earth. Following its instructions, Shi Jingming senses this energy on the first day, and a plus sign appears on his system panel, indicating a level up. However, he chooses not to level up immediately. The book notes that to advance from an awakened to a superpowered individual, using a higher level training method yields far greater benefits. Once Shi Jingming enters university, he will have access to top-tier training methods, so he decides not to waste the opportunity on an intermediate-level method. Upon reaching the city, Shi Jingming arrives at Modi University's grand entrance, so massive that it leaves him staring in awe. Curious to explore the campus, he is soon met by Zhang, who arrives in a car. She invites him to ride with her so she can escort him to complete the admission procedures first. While driving, Zhang asks Shi Jingming for his thoughts on Modi University, which spans an impressive 26 square kilometers, averaging over 2,600 square meters per student. The campus is so vast that new students cannot tour it fully in a single day. Shi Jingming compliments the university, impressed by its scale and facilities. Zhang then hands Shi Jingming an all-in-one access card, which allows him to enter the dormitories with a simple swipe. Shi Jingming has seen many dormitories in his past life, ranging from 4-person rooms and single rooms to 3-bedroom apartments allocated for doctoral candidates, but he has never seen luxury villas used as student accommodations. At Modi University, all students live in villas, and the level of luxury depends on their scores. As a provincial top scorer, Shi Jingming is assigned the most luxurious model, spanning over 800 square meters. Each villa is designed for 2 students, with an upper and lower floor, meaning Shi Jingming will share each floor with a roommate. Entering the villa, Shi Jingming reflects that, despite the luxury, he prefers the warm and harmonious feeling of a 4-person dormitory, having been an orphan both before and after his transmigration. Sitting in the dorm, Zhang completes all the administrative procedures and begins explaining a few critical points that Shi Jingming must pay attention to at the university. She begins with the credit system. At Magic City Superpower University, credits are essential for almost everything, from meals to purchasing equipment or rare treasures. 1 credit has a purchasing power roughly equivalent to 10,000 daxia currency. There are multiple ways to obtain credits, including a fixed annual distribution based on a student's rating. Since Shi Jingming's rating upon admission is S-class, he will receive 100 credits for the year. Zhang then claps to call out Eva, and a floating spherical device emerges, astonishing Shi Jingming. She explains that it is the artificial intelligence system installed in every dorm. While this device is a subunit of the school's central AI, it functions at the level of a level 4 AI, more than capable of assisting with daily life. Shi Jingming is amazed by how advanced AI technology has become on this planet compared to his previous life. Zhang then introduces the second key system Shi Jingming must understand, the exclusive mentor system. Every student can select a mentor they admire and request them as an exclusive mentor. If the mentor agrees, they guide the student personally. Even as a freshman, Shi Jingming can choose a mentor. Since Modi University houses numerous high-level superpower individuals, almost every mentor possesses original combat techniques and superpower training methods that are not shared with outsiders, making this system invaluable for his growth. However, students can only learn these techniques after becoming a mentor's disciple. Zhang further explains that Modi University has a total of 4 lightning element mentors. Among them, the Dean of the Weaponry Academy, Yang Xintian, comes highly recommended by Zhang as the ideal mentor for Shi Jingming. Eva, the AI assistant, opens the profile descriptions of Dean Yang and the other 3 mentors from the Elementary Academy, allowing Shi Jingming to review all options. After reading the profiles, Shi Jingming decides to choose Dean Yang as his mentor, as he specializes in the lightning element and is an expert with the spear. Shi Jingming then makes his way to Dean Yang's residence, which is far more luxurious than the student accommodations. Upon arrival, another student appears, also seeking mentorship. The student notices Shi Jingming's status as an awakened individual and a special recruit. The student introduces himself as Tan Mingyang from the Weaponry Academy, making him Shi Jingming's junior. Shi Jingming introduces himself in return. Tan is surprised because many freshmen only learn about the mentorship program after the freshman competition. Since Shi Jingming was unaware, Tan explains that the freshman competition is a tradition at the university, typically held 3 to 4 days after official registration. All the teachers attend to observe the matches, and freshmen who perform well are highly sought after by various academies, with some even being directly accepted as disciples by mentors. Tan then teases Shi Jingming, suggesting that it would be impossible for a special recruit like him to seek mentorship in advance. Shi Jingming thanks Tan for the explanation. Tan adds that he has already made multiple attempts over the past 6 months to gain Dean Yang's mentorship, but the dean has always declined. At that moment, the guard opens the door and enthusiastically invites both of them inside, explaining that Dean Yang is waiting. Tan finds the guard's sudden enthusiasm unusual, as he has never seen such behavior during his previous visits. They enter the room, and Shi Jingming senses a formidable presence emanating from Dean Yang, a Tier 7 high-ranked superpowered individual, renowned as the Thunder Spear. Dean Yang greets Shi Jingming and instructs him to follow him to the training room. Dean Tang had already reviewed Shi Jingming's martial arts examination video, but he wanted to witness Shi Jingming's S-rank ability, the Purple Heaven Divine Thunder, with his own eyes. Shi Jingming decides to demonstrate it, and seeing the ability firsthand makes Dean Tang reflect on the fundamental difference and the immense gap between A-rank and S-rank lightning element abilities. Dean Tang believes that if Shi Jingming is diligently trained, his future achievements could surpass even his own. After witnessing the ability, Dean Tang confirms Shi Jingming's immense potential. However, he warns Shi Jingming that he has many friends but also many enemies, and becoming his disciple could make Shi Jingming a target for Dean Tang's adversaries. Despite the warning, Shi Jingming agrees to become Dean Tang's disciple, driven by his admiration for high-level ability users who have grown strong through intense struggle. Dean Tang laughs warmly and reveals that Shi Jingming will be his 32nd disciple and his first S-rank disciple. He then presents Shi Jingming with a top-tier ability training method called the Extreme Ability Training Method, along with a body-tempering combat technique known as Thunder Indestructible Body, which he personally created. Shi Jingming is deeply impressed by the combat technique, recognizing its potential to significantly strengthen his physique. He understands that this technique is far more valuable than ordinary combat techniques, like Lightning Gale Break. Dean Tang explains that the Thunder Indestructible Body is one of only 3 top-tier ability training methods at the school. It embodies Dean Tang's lifelong effort, has been certified by the Thunder Martial Arts Hall and the Tyrant Bear Martial Arts Hall, and is officially rated as S-rank. Just like ability ratings, combat techniques also have rankings, and the Thunder Indestructible Body is among the elite S-rank techniques. Higher ranks are exponentially more difficult to cultivate, but yield far greater power. Dean Tang further explains that the technique is exclusively suitable for lightning element ability users and consists of 13 levels. With each level, the practitioner's physique undergoes a corresponding transformation. However, to cultivate it successfully, Shi Jingming must first become a fully capable ability user. Dean Tang instructs him to advance using the Extreme Ability Training Method, promising to personally guide him in building the foundational basis for the Thunder Indestructible Body. Shi Jingming thanks Dean Tang, recognizing that guidance from a master is far more valuable than relying solely on himself. Currently, Dean Tang has cultivated the Thunder Indestructible Body technique only up to the 10th level, with the remaining 3 levels progressing slowly. If Shi Jingming manages to reach the pinnacle of the technique, he could become the greatest testament to its power. According to Dean Tang, if Shi Jingming achieves the final level, his physique will become eternal and indestructible. Shi Jingming leaves the residence and finds Tan sitting there, looking very dejected. When Shi Jingming asks him about it, Tan explains that he must defeat Lu using only 1/10 of his combat power to meet the apprenticeship criteria, but he is certain he cannot succeed. Then Tan smiles, assuming that Shi Jingming must have failed as well, but he is utterly shocked to learn that Shi Jingming has already passed. Shi Jingming starts walking, leaving Tan astonished and pondering the true identity of Shi Jingming. Now, Shi Jingming is in the training room on the 2nd floor of his dormitory, cultivating with complete focus. After successfully mastering the technique, he chooses to add points and advance directly, bypassing the step-by-step progression. Shi Jingming clicks on the plus sign to increase his level, feeling intense pressure coursing through his body. But soon he breaks through and attains the rank of ability user, 1st tier, lower rank. After using the top-tier ability training method, Shi Jingming can feel that the power and abilities within his body have at least quadrupled. If he were to face a second-tier tyrant bear now, he wouldn't even need his spear. His lightning alone could defeat it effortlessly. For comparison, if Shi Jingming had used the Abyssal Sea ability training method to break through, his vitality and spirit would have only increased by 30 or 40 points. Using this top-tier technique, however, his stats rose by almost 100 points in one go. Since this advancement cost him 300 ability points, Shi Jingming decides to reserve a sufficient number for future combat technique learning. Next, Shi Jingming turns to the book given by Dean Tang, which is even more important than the training method itself. As an S-rank combat technique, the more power he gains, the higher the consumption of ability points, so Shi Jingming begins to comprehend it thoroughly. The following day, Shi Jingming visits Dean Tang's residence, leaving the dean astonished to discover that Shi Jingming has already transformed into an ability user in less than 24 hours, a feat even geniuses rarely achieve. Shi Jingming humbly admits that perhaps his speed of advancement is the only thing worthy of pride. When he attempted to cultivate Dean Tang's thunder indestructible body, even forging the foundation was a significant challenge. Dean Tang is amazed, as the forging of the foundation involves using the potion of a lightning element ferocious beast as a guide. The final strength of the thunder indestructible body depends heavily on the grade of the precious beast potion used during the foundational stage. Since Shi Jingming successfully advanced, Dean Tang decides to help him forge the foundation of the thunder indestructible body. Initially, Dean Tang planned to use the potion of a 7th-tier storm giant bear he had personally slain. However, upon learning that Shi Jingming can receive one S-rank resource per year, Dean Tang negotiates with the principal to provide an SS rank resource instead, the potion of an 8th-tier ferocious beast, the Thunder Tyrannosaurus. Shi Jingming is thrilled and vows to repay the favor many times over in the future. Without delay, Dean Tang begins the training. They go to the second-floor training room. Dean Tang pours the potion of the Thunder Tyrannosaurus onto him, causing excruciating pain that Shi Jingming must endure. The potion is highly toxic to lower-level ability users, so the intense pain is normal. Then, Dean Tang channels his true lightning to forge the foundation of the indestructible body, leaving the amount Shi Jingming can absorb entirely up to him.